Okay, in order to draw the quadratic curve, you have to work out every coordinate. So the easiest way with the new calculators is to make use of this answer button down here. Now, in order to make use of this answer button, you have to first of all make sure that the answer button contains the x coordinate. So in the first case, it's a -3. So I hit the minus button up there, and then the 3, and I press equals. So now -3 would be in that answer button. Now what I need to do, I need to type in the equation. But x squared, I hit the answer button squared, so that's my x squared, plus 4x, so plus 4 and then the answer button, so there's my 4x, take 1, take 1. So the display looks very similar to the equation, but instead of the letter x, I've got the answer button in place. If I press equals, out comes -4, so the y coordinate would be -4. Now I could repeat that completely for -2, i.e. -2, and then press equals, so -2 is now in the answer button, and I could type the equation in again. However, because I have not cleared the display, I haven't pressed any of these two buttons here, if I hit the up arrow button on these calculators, it brings back that equation for me. Hence, being a lazy mathematician, I don't have to rewrite it. All I have to do is press equals, and it tells me that the next coordinate is -5. And I just repeat that. So -1, press equals. The arrow up brings the equation that I'm dealing with, x squared plus 4x take 1. If I press equals, my next coordinate is -4. Now I could do it for 0, but I shouldn't have to, because nothing -1 is always the numerical value that we have there at the end. I do the same for 1, so now I don't need to type in the negative, there's no negative numbers here, so I just have to press 1 and equals. Again, if I do arrow up, I get the equation coming up, press equals, and I get 4. Do the same for 2, so 2 and equals, arrow up, press equals, and I come out with 11. And finally for 3, so 3 and equals, arrow up, press equals, out comes 20. So we have got all the coordinates that we need. What I now do on the graph paper is I plot each of those points that I've just said. So at -3, it said we're at -4. At -2, we said it was at -5. At -1, we were at -4. At nothing, we were at -1. At 1, we're up at 4. At 2, we were up at 11. And at 3, we were up at 20. So all the points have been plotted that we worked out in that table. And then with a pencil, we go through each of those coordinates once only, matching each one up with a nice smooth curve. And there is your first quadratic drawn. Second example, repeating the same maths, but it's just a different equation. So again, I have to clear from what I did for the last one. Again, I'm starting with -3, so -3 and press equals. So that's now stored in the answer button. This time, however, my equation is x squared plus 3x plus 1. So I type in answer button squared plus 3 answer button for 3x plus 1. So you can see that the display arguably mirrors the equation x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 1 plus 1. But instead of the letter x, I've got the answer button. If I hit equals, out comes the first answer, which is 1. I don't clear any of this, so I can just be very quick about it. I type in -2 and press equals. Arrow up brings up the equation that I'm dealing with this time. press equals, second coordinate minus 1. Next one, minus 1. Minus 1, press equals, which arguably you could say I didn't need to do that time. That's a one-off, but I've done it. Arrow up, press equals, I get minus 1. As I said on the previous example, for 0, you don't have to put it in your calculator. Nothing, positive 1, positive 1. 1, press equals. Arrow up, press equals, out comes 5. 2, press equals. Arrow up, press equals, 11. 3, press equals. Arrow up, press equals, 19. So there we have our coordinates for this curve. So at minus 3, we were up at 1. At minus 2, we were at minus 1. At minus 1, we're at minus 1. At nothing, we're up at 1. At 1, we're up at 5. At 2, we're up at 11. And at 3, we're up at 19. Now again, we've got to draw a smooth curve through there. So what I notice is that it goes from minus 1 across to minus 1. So you need to make sure that between those two coordinates, it will dip down and go back up. So we go down, keep on going down, back up, and going through each point as we did in the previous. And there is your second quadratic curve draw. Third and final one. We clear the display from the previous example. We're starting at minus 2 this time, so we type in minus 2 and press equals. This time the equation is x squared, so we've got answer squared, take 5 answer for 5x, take 4 and press equals, and out comes 10 as our first coordinate, 10. What I now do is, just as I've done in the previous, I type in minus 1 and press equals, arrow up, press equals again, out comes 2, the second coordinate's 2. At nothing, minus 4, so that's minus 4. Don't worry about that on the calculator. Now for 1, press equals, arrow up, press equals, I get negative 8, minus 8. 2, press equals, arrow up, as always, the equation I want comes up, press equals, minus 10. 3, press equals, arrow up, press equals, minus 10 again. Now I can guess that this one's going to be minus 8 because of the nature of the curve. However, just to prove a point, 4, press equals, arrow up, press equals, minus 8. Points worked out. I'm now ready to plot them. So at minus 2, we are up at 10. At minus 1, we're up at 2. At nothing, we're at minus 4. At 1, we're at minus 8. At 2, we're at minus 10. At 3, we're at minus 10. And then at 4, we're back to minus 8. And then you join them up with a nice, smooth curve, he says.